Hello everyone. First things first, I know what you're thinking. Yes, the yellow trousers are back. Oh yeah, it's warm today. In fact, the last few days have been yet another heat wave. Mainly down south, there were recording temperatures of about 35, but when I left the car about an hour ago, it was about 25 degrees. So I've left it a lot later to come out because I'm hoping it's going to be a bit cooler. It's also forecast to be breezy. It was forecast for the tops 20 to 25 an hour winds, constant speed gusting up to 30. So I'm kind of hoping that it's an in-between, somewhere where it'll blow the midges away and not high enough to blow the tent away. But I better get up here because I've got about 2.5 hours until sunset. It's not too far from here, but because of the heat, I'm just taking it easy, and I like to get the tent and everything set up before it gets dark. I think I'll have plenty of time, but yeah, I'll report back later on and let you know where I am and what I'm doing. Well, you might be able to tell by the movement in the foreground of the picture that I've now gained a bit of height, and there's a lovely breeze now, which is fine. Just hope it doesn't pick up any more. It could be a restless night's sleep, but yeah, I'm almost on the ridge. The breeze is good because it keeps the midges away, and it's cooling me down quite substantially because I've got this kind of thin jumper on. You might be wondering why I've got a thin jumper on. I shall tell you once I get up to camp. A bit of a clothing error on my behalf. But anyway, up we go, and let's see if we can get onto the spot where I'm wanting to camp soon, because yeah, as I said, I don't want to be putting the tent up in the dark, so let's go. Right, I think I found a spot. Wow, this is lovely. It's I was going to go further up the mountain to get more of a view north, but there's a wee knoll behind me where I can go up and have a view north once I've got the tent up. But this in here, it's just slightly out of the breeze. There's still enough of a breeze to keep the midges at bay. But the higher up I got, and being on the ridge, there's nowhere really sheltered up there, so it probably would have been a bit too breezy. I'll get a better night's sleep here. And the view, look at this mountain behind me. Isn't that fabulous? So yeah, let's get the tent set up here, and yeah, I'll report back. Well, before I get the tent up, let me just show you. The reason why I've got a jumper on is, wait for this. I need to get my mic pulled up. I didn't want to look like too much of an idiot. I know I look like an idiot anyway, but I've got a tank top on, and that was a pure mistake. I've got 3 or 4 fluorescent base layers, which have sleeves in them. And when I dragged this one out of the drawer, I didn't realise it was a tank top. So yeah, that's why I've had the blue jersey on. But you know what, I actually need the jersey on now because the sun's losing a wee bit of its power. I'm starting to get a wee bit chilly in this wind, but I just thought I'd explain why I had the jumper on. Maybe I should go for this new look. A bit Benidorm, innit? Right, let's get the tent up. Enough of this nonsense. You can see the effect of the breeze. There we go. I need to get the pegs in quickly. I always like to put pegs in when it's this breezy, just to secure it down so there's less chance of blowing away. So I'll get a couple of pegs in at one of the ends. Gives it less chance of flying away when I'm putting it up, so let's get them in. Yeah, so it's one of the considerations I give, especially in the summer, if you're wild camping in Scotland, is you often look at the forecast, or I do in the winter, and look for really calm, windless nights on summits, and that's fantastic. But if you get a really windless night in the summer up in Scotland, it's just made misery by the beastie. So a wee breeze does help sometimes, and you usually do get a wee breeze the higher up you go, but sometimes you don't, and it can be a nightmare. Sometimes you can't leave the tent because of the midges, so that's why a breeze is good. And you don't want to be left in the tent, and you know, especially that's another reason why I've come up a bit later is when it's really warm. If there is beasties and you're inside the tent, it can sometimes be baking, believe it or not, in Scotland, and it's really uncomfortable. You can't go outside because the beasties will eat you alive, and if you stay inside the tent, you'll basically cook yourself. So coming up later does have its advantages, but I just have to watch my time, and it's fine. You can see the sun's still up, so I've got plenty of time. So anyway, right, let's get this tent up and stop talking. I'm a bit twisted here. There we go. It's a bit better. So I usually put it up just to give a general shape to start off with, and I'll go around and tighten it all up and try and make it as secure as possible. Don't know if this wind's going to pick up or not during the night, but yeah, that's it now. When you see me next, it'll have all the guy lines out. I'm not bothered videoing all that and boring you to death. All that stuff. So the more observant viewers may have noticed that the position of my tent might have changed slightly. So I've got it all set up like I said I would, with the guy lines out, and it's nice and tight and sturdy. But before I did that, I went inside. It's a good thing to do. I actually went inside and lay on the ground to see how flat it was. And the position of where the tent is actually on a hill. It was right on the top of this hill, so it was like the highest point was in the middle. So when I lay down, my back was bent. So I just moved the tent down slightly, and I turned it around as well because schoolboy error. The windows or the doors were facing that way into the hillside, and I wanted the views of the mountain and down over the expanse, the lochs and the mountains and what have you. So I turned it around, moved it down a bit, and it's really comfy now. So I've just put my ground mat in. It's my summer stuff again. If you're interested in the gear, I mention it in most videos, but it's, in the summer I've got my Sea to Summit Etherlight sleeping pad, which is quite thick, which is, you really do need that. Very rarely, as I've said time and time again, in Scotland anyway, or where I go, there's never any flat pieces of grass. It's always a bit tussocky, so the thick mat helps even out. And I've got my Spark 2 Sea to Summit summer sleeping bag, which will be nice and warm for me tonight. So yeah, I'm going to get the tea on now. The sun's about to dip behind this wee hill here, and I might go for a wee jaunt and show you the views that I can't see, because I know what they're like, and there's a reason that I've chosen this area, which I'll explain a bit later on as well. But look at this, isn't this just wonderful? What a place to be. And although I'm not on the top of the mountain, I'm pretty happy with this spot. A lovely view over to the hills there. There's a loch down here and more big mountains over there, and I know that way the views are pretty special. But for now, let's get my tea on. I'm getting pretty hungry. Right, I think time to go. Alright, so I've had my tea. It was alright. It was a dehydrated one, so not as tasty, but anyway, it was a last minute decision to come up here, so I didn't have time to pick and choose. But I'm out of the sun now. You can see it's lovely. Everything's lit to the sort of south and east. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a wee donder and show you the view, go up this hill here and show you where I was going to go and why I was going to go there. But for now I'm going to put on my wee beanie hat, because as I said, it's getting a bit chilly. Another thing I'm going to put on, if I can find it, it's in here somewhere, is my duvet. I've said this before, but even though it was like pretty roasty toasty earlier on, even in the summer, when you're not moving around and you're up in the hills, the temperature can drop. So yeah, let's head over here and I'll show you the view a bit further up the hill. Let's go. Oh yes, back into the sunshine. What a difference. Glad I brought my sunnies. Wow, look at that. What a view. I can't wait to show you this. Let's go a bit higher. Wow, sun's starting to low and I'm getting near the point where I was going to, I was hoping to set up camp, so I'll spin you around and explain all. Sun's not far from setting now. I'll probably just be a silhouette. But yeah, I'd chosen this area. This is where I was hoping to camp. You know what, at the moment, the breeze isn't as bad as I thought it would be. It is forecast to pick up by another, said in the app, up to about 30 overnight. Whether that happens or not, 'cause it's meant to be about 20 at the moment. It's certainly not that here. But anyway, I came walking here a few months ago. I don't know if you remember the video. I had my dog with me and I came up for an early hike and I came up this mountain behind me. And when I was coming down here, I actually finished the video here. I did it with the camera and I thought this would be an ideal place to camp. And I do remember dropping off here and there was a few rocky knolls you had to go between. And I thought that would be ideal if it was a bit breezy, which is what I've opted for this time. So yeah, I always keep my eye out, just a wee tip, I always keep my eye out for wild camping spots, even if I'm just out for a day hike. And this would have been perfect. I'll maybe just have to come back here when I know the wind's going to be a bit lighter. But at the moment it would have been ideal. But you know what? I'm quite happy with the spot I've got. So I'm going to go and chill over here and watch the sun go down. Well, this is what it's all about. After a hard week's work, there's nothing quite beats a wild camp. I mean, I enjoy my walking and all my other outdoor activities, but I don't tend to relax as much. You're always thinking about getting back and getting your stuff away and the car packed up. Whereas on a wild camp, you can just relax and, I don't know, watch the sun go down. It's just absolutely lovely. And on a day like today, yeah, I'm surprised that there is a breeze, which is nice, keeping the midges away, but it's certainly nowhere near as windy as I thought it was going to be or as it was forecast. But still, I'm happy where I am. And the views at the moment. There is a band of cloud right out in the horizon, so I don't think much is going to happen at sunset, which is probably another half an hour away by the looks of things. But the sun is about to go down behind that band of cloud. It's lovely. I can see Ben Nevis, it's clear, but beyond that the cloud starts. So the Southern Highlands are certainly the place to be. And that's another wee tip. Don't always pick a place a few weeks before and stick to it. I tend to wait, or try to anyway when I can, wait until a few days before deciding exactly where I'm going to go and see where the weather's best. Because had I been away up north, it wouldn't have been as nice as this. It's a lot windier further north as well. That's where that weather front is. High pressure to the south. So just a wee tip for you. What a night though. What a night. I suppose. Well, that's the sun going down, as you can see. The breeze is picking up now. And yeah, it's getting a bit colder now that the sun's going down, so let's head back to the tent and go and chill. Oh man, this is where I wish I had a bigger lens or a longer lens. The moon is pink and it's just rising up. In fact, I'm going to take a photo. It'll be very blurry, so let's be on my phone. But that's amazing. Let's see if it comes out. Looks really, really pink, a big ball of pink. Oh wow. It's just creeping over the horizon. What a sight. That is, it is actually pink. It's like something out of Star Wars or something. I've never seen it so so pink. Oh, I'm so annoyed I don't have other camera where I could have zoomed in. I'll see if I can digitally zoom in past me now so you can see it coming up. The moon rising to the east. What a sight. Wow. I'm going to go down here and see if I can get a picture of these rocks as a foreground. I'm really hoping the camera's picking that up if I zoom in. It's things like this you just don't see unless you're out in a wild camp. It's the stuff I was talking about. You get to see amazing things like that pink moon. Stunning. Wow. The moon's still looking impressive. Oh, I'm hoping the camera's picking that moon up. It's been so impressive. It's a bit more of an orange colour now, it's gone less pink, but what a sight. Absolutely stunning. I'm going to sit in the tent now and have my usual treat. I've got some nice healthy peanuts, so I'll report back later on. Get the light on, I think. Lovely. Nice view that moon. Right, that wind is picking up a bit as it was forecast to do. It's, I think it'll be a lot windier up there now. But it's been a wonderful evening. That moonrise was just spectacular. And I've just been chilling in the tent, eating my usual treat, which is some, I think it was barbecue coated peanuts, which was lovely, and just, yeah, just watching that moonrise and watching the stars starting to come out. You probably can't see them, there's a few stars here and there, so I'm going to hit the hay. Got my earplugs for the wind. It's not too bad, as I said, it's kept the midges at bay, and that's always a good thing, but yeah, it's a fairly brisk one, so I'll catch up with you in the morning. Time for bed. So I've woken up a bit early and just looked out of the tent and look at these lovely clouds above the mountain. Fabulous. Might get out, might actually get up and take some photographs. That's absolutely beautiful. Wow. Fantastic. Well, they're starting to fade a bit now because the dawn's coming. These high level clouds, and I've never seen them before. I wasn't expecting to see them. It was just, I honestly wanted just to poke my head up. We're at the end of August now, and well, it's not the end of August, we're not that far in, but anyway, we're starting to get darker skies. I thought we were going to have a look at the stars before I'll wake up and watch the sunrise, and yeah, I was amazed to see these. So I've taken some pictures and some time lapse which I'll stick up now. So now I'm up, I'm awake, so just to wait for the dawn and the sunrise now. But what a lovely surprise again. Like I said, with the pink moon, you don't see these things unless you get out here, and wild camping's such a good way to do that. Super happy. Right, I'm going to get some coffee on and just chill in the tent and wait for the light to come. Beautiful though, absolutely beautiful. What the hell is that? Can you see the eyes down there? I was sure I was hearing voices. because it sounded a bit weird. And I saw a set of eyes like that. Oh, where were they? It was over there. Hopefully you can hear that. Oh, you can see it down there. What would make a noise like that? It's smaller than a lot smaller than a deer. There's like 3 of them, and there's another one behind me. Can you hear that? Maybe it's some haggis. Please somebody, if you know what that bark is, I really hope it's picked up on the microphone. That was don't know if it's wildcats. There was one on the other side of the tent coming up, and it was my headlight that picked up the eyes. I thought, what the hell's that? It's not a rabbit. Hear it? Can you still hear it? Bit deceptive. As I said, I thought I was hearing voices. I could have sworn I was hearing human voices in a set of eyes. There's another 2 over there, and that's the bark it was making. Anyway, let me know what you think. Still going. Anyway, right. Time for some breakfast. That's a bit surreal. Need to stop spooking myself out with phantom animals. It's way off now. I really don't know if the camera's picking up the eyes. It's looking at me, whatever it is. I can just see the eyes. What is that? Anyway, right. Oh yes. Oh, my alarm. I'll be 5:06 then. Still baffled by what those noises were, or what that animal was. Answers on a postcard, please. Oh, I'm looking forward to this coffee. Time to break down. I've had my breakfast. Had a Scotch egg and a bar of Snickers, which is lovely. And obviously my coffee. But there's not much happening in the sky after those amazing, amazing. I think they're called. Oh God, Noctilucent clouds. Or anyway, I'll confirm that. But it's close. I think it's something to do with the very high level cloud catching the moon's rays, or yeah, something like that. Again, I'll maybe put a voiceover giving more detail once I've researched it when I go back home. I must admit, I've seen pictures of those clouds before, and I've always wondered. I've always thought, you know, things like the aurora are amazing. I love seeing the aurora. And on a lot of these Facebook pages during the summer when the aurora season isn't in full swing, you get pictures of these clouds, and I've always thought, oh God, why are people getting excited about them? They don't look that don't look that great. Well, my opinion has been, completely and utterly changed as soon as I put my head out of the door this morning, which, just to have a look at the stars and seeing those clouds, what an amazing sight. It really was very impressive. Right, I'm making an arse of rolling this up because I'm trying to multitask, so let me concentrate on getting the tent down. These were Noctilucent clouds, and they're the highest known clouds on Earth. They sit about 50 miles above the surface, and it's the sunlight that illuminates them at certain times of the year, and what a spectacle they are. Oh, what a great trip it's been. As I said, I'm not going to hang around. There's not much happening for sunrise, so thought I'd just get the tent down and get back down the road. There's a bit of sun hitting the mountains behind the tent now, so it's not far away from coming up, although I think this spot here will be blocked by the mountain just to my east. But yeah, it's been a bit of a surreal trip. I feel like I've, had an extraterrestrial space experience from that pink moon last night to the waking up to those clouds, which was magnificent. And then the most bizarre thing after all that, hearing and seeing those very strange creatures. I don't know, it's either, I'm thinking wildcats, I don't know. Never seen them before. It's either that or maybe there was aliens. I don't know, or I swear I heard, I honestly swear I heard voices just before I saw the eyes appear in the barks. I was actually at the point, I went over to look to see, it sounded like a group of people. And at one point I even checked my phone to make sure I hadn't inadvertently hit the SOS emergency call. Doodah. That's how convinced I was that there was voices. And I went over, I had my headlight on, my powerful one, I couldn't see anything, and that's when I picked up the eyes over here, and then more here, and they started barking. Oh, it's giving me shivers thinking about it. Very strange. Anyway, enough of this silly talk. It's amazing when it's a bit dark and you're by yourself and your senses are heightened, what the brain can come up with, isn't it? Anyway, right, let's get this tent down and away. And just about there, attaching the tent to my bag, and it'll be time to head down. What a great trip, as I said. It really has been good, and as always, all I've left is a bit of flattened grass, which is wonderful. Oh, there we go, the sun's coming up. Oh, lovely. Make sure I've not left anything. Then I'm going to report back in a wee while when I get down to the car, and I shall speak to you in a minute. Right, let's go. The descent. Oh, right, that's me back at the car. What time is it? Back at 6. Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm warm now with this UV jacket on and my beanie hat. What a fantastic adventure. What pearls of wisdom have I learnt from this trip? Well, I think the first thing I'd say is, when you're out doing your normal hikes, if you do that, the reason I found that camp spot was because I'd observed it on another hike, so it's always worthwhile keeping your eye out for these things. There's so many, millions and millions of places, and I've probably never been camped on in Scotland with fantastic views, so always keep your eye out for that. Another thing that I've learnt from this trip is always take the time to look around the pink moon, for instance, and if I hadn't looked out the tent to see those clouds, I would have woken up at 5. I'd woken up an hour before my alarm, and when my alarm went off, they'd all gone. So had I not woken up and decided to see the stars, I would never have seen them. It's the same thing happened when I saw the northern lights on the top of Ben Alligin. Wasn't expecting them, I just decided to look out. Anyway, what else can I say? Yeah, strange noises, strange animals. I need to investigate that. And finally, by no means least, the most important thing that make sure the microphone's on. I've just done a bit to camera and left the microphone on the car because I took my jacket off because the battery died in the camera. So I was saying about the points that I've learnt from this trip. Another one is bring a spare battery in case your battery runs out. But most importantly is, from the whole trip, most important thing that I've learned is that yellow trousers rule. I'm so glad to have these back on, they're so comfortable. Anyway, I'm going to get the stuff in the back of the car and get cracked on down the road. I should be home for about 7:30. I'm going to end the video here, so thanks for watching. Please stay safe out there as always, and I'll see you on the next adventure. Right, time to head home.